Hey, Parth.
Hey, Chad. Hey, Seema.
But
Hey, it's good to have you on the show. We're old friends, but why don't we take just a quick second so you can kind of introduce yourself to the audience?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Parth Patel. I'm Enterprise Solution Architect over here, supporting enterprise customer in SF Bay Area. And I'm here to, share some new sustainability front.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So I know you've got some exciting news about how Amazon is making sustainability data available. Can you tell me some more about that?
Absolutely. So ASDI, Amazon Sustainability Data Initiative, is specifically focusing on kind of a tech for good program. We want to use technology, infrastructure to community to create more innovation in sustainability space. So what we are trying to solve is a data problem in sustainability. As part of the sustainability, when we start working, we realize that data is core to address climate crisis. And we are having so much data nowadays. IDC estimate that we'll have roughly around 175 zettabytes of data by 2025. And every now and then we hear a new satellite has been launched, new model has been published, and a new IoT sensor has been installed every day. So data is growing exponentially. But what we see is more data doesn't mean to have a better insights. That brings different set of challenges, and it's not easy to navigate those challenges. Some of them are it's a huge data set. It's a petabytes of data. It's dispersed everywhere, and you need to find the right data. You need to acquire the license for it. You need to store it to process the data and clean your data before you actually start working on the sustainability problem. And these are all the redundant problem. What we at Amazon we call it as a undifferentiated heavy lifting. So as this sustainability data initiative, what we are trying to do is use our technology to reduce cost, time, and technical barrier to entry to make this big data accessible to solve climate problem. And we are making all of this sustainability data free for everyone to access it. And you do not need to pay any money to access those data.
interesting. So, what are the sources of the data that we have here?
Sure. Yeah. So we have uh, just taking a step back, right? We have this data, but as AWS standard process, AWS doesn't own this data. All this data has been owned by the sources. We collaborate with a government agency, private agency to lift the storage cost and egress cost to make it available. Data is still owned by them. We partnered with ASRI, an international supplier for geographic information software system. We partnered with NOAA, NASA, Met Office from UK, reliably renewable energy laboratory. So we partnered with a global organization to make this data available. What organization needs to do to make sure that they are maintaining this data, and AWS is able to make it available for everyone.
That's super cool, Parth. And I'm just kind of curious, where have you seen customers use this data? It's like, what's the use case for it?
Oh yeah, customer is using this data for so many different ways. What When we started this initiative, we realized that there are so much data available. So what we did is we categorize these data sets. We have roughly around 100 petabytes of data now, and we have somewhere around 300 plus different data sets. We categorize in 14 categories that includes, to name a few, it's weather, climate, ocean data, air quality data, geospatial, satellite imagery, disaster response. There are so many different categories. And each category have a different source of data. So a customer can use this data based on different use cases. We see that Digital Earth Africa is a non-profit organization working with African nation to provide local leader and governments information that they need for climate-related impacts like flooding, drought, erosion. Some of the private startup like Nautic AI from Finland, they are using this data to deliver real-time navigation route to reduce fuel usage and to maritime transport, making sure that whenever the ship is transporting the good, they can avoid the storm. We have so many different use cases, and it's mind-blowing the way that we see customer and researcher are using this data.
Yeah, that is quite interesting how they're able to come up with maybe optimized solutions for their businesses. So that brings me to the next question: how users can actually access the data?
Yeah, so that's a great question. As part of this ASDI, we democratize the data. So data is available for free, but you need a compute to access this data. And
Mm-hmm.
that is also the core pillar for this program, making data available, compute, and knowledge sharing. For the accessing this data, we have a couple of options. You can always use your AWS account. Data is in AWS, so you can utilize the your existing AWS accounts to process the data. But along with that, we have grants available. If you are accessing this data, sustainability data, and trying to provide impact on a climate, we, as this program, can bear the cost for full 1 year. That includes compute, storage, and everything, as long as it is related to the climate. And there is no limitation in which vertical, which organization, researcher, government, commercial, anyone can apply. As long as you are qualified for that, we will bear the cost and we will reduce your technical barrier of entry. So
Wow.
that is a great way to start jumping in. And that is the reason we see so many startups are coming up with a different idea to leverage this data set and helping the planet.
Well, Parth, that sounds like a great segue into a demo. You think we can show them something?
Oh, absolutely. I
Okay.
do have one more item to share is along with this two option, we do have Sagemaker Studio Lab. So Sagemaker Studio Lab is another tool that is available for free. You don't need a credit card and you don't even need AWS account to get started. You have an option for GPU and CPU that I will show you just now. And each account will get a 15 GB of persistent storage. So you don't need to start from scratch every time you are starting. So let me show you. So I published this notebook. It is leveraging one of the data set available. It's a satellite image from Sentinel-2 satellite. What I have done is I use the SageMaker Studio Lab. So you can click on the link and it will open the SageMaker Studio Lab. So now you can see this is how SageMaker Studio Lab looks like. This is my personal account. It's not AWS account. I register with my separate email and I get this so that I can use it. What you can see over here is you can see the preview of the notebook that is part of this particular sample. You can click this copy to project button. When you do that, it will create a Jupyter notebook for you in the browser. So you don't need any installation, and it will ask you that you want to just copy notebook or you want to copy the entire repository. So I already have it. I still click it. It will say that you need to build your environment or how you want to start. I'm cloning it. It will say that you already have it because I already opened it over here. And it will build the Conda environment, and it will say that environment is already exists. So what I can show here is I will open the notebook. and you can identify that which environment that you want, which package that you want to install. I can go through this particular sample here. So this is a standard Jupyter notebook. I already installed based on the environment when we are setting up, but if not, you can install any package that is required for that. Okay, you can keep going. It is a standard Python notebook. You can also select any specific kernel that you want. I'm using this geodata as part of this configuration, so it is available to leverage. Here is what I am using this, registry of open data. It is getting the data from Sentinel-2. It is getting the satellite images. I'm using Sentinel Hub API for this. You can also directly access from S3 bucket, and I'll show you how. So what the Sentinel Hub API is going to do is it is going to leverage the specific API and give you the details for how it's going to work. Let me open the already ran notebook here. Okay. All right. So so over here, what we are trying to do is I'm setting up a bounding box. The way it works is I have a deforestation use case where I am taking the image from California Paradise wildfire. I am getting this data from 2018, and what I will get from this API, that there is a S3 bucket available for free to access. Now, the reason we are coming up with all these different sample is because all this data has petabytes of data stored differently based on the owner of this data. It is very hard for anyone who is starting for the first time. Where is the folder? Which folder that you need to access? Mm-hmm. We are trying to come up with a sample so that it will be very easy for anyone to just get started with it. So this is a sample that you can leverage for Sentinel-2 data. Over here, I am getting the data from 2018 and 2019. Once you have your specific time period identified, you can get different bands of the file. So Sentinel have 13 bands. I'm downloading all of the bands. I'm also downloading the preview so that when we download the file, you can get all this preview available. So this is before this wildfire, and the right one is after this wildfire. There you can see the snow. You can also see some of the cloud coverage, what is looking, right? Now, we have the data, but how to identify that whether there is any catastrophe happened? So what I'm using is Sentinel-2 is a geo diff data. Raster.io is one of the Python library that you can leverage to render these different bands. So what I'm showing here is I'm using this NDVI, which is called Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. So what it shows is if there is a tree and if there is tree is not exist, it will show the difference and it will show different color segment, right?
That is super cool.
Yeah, and all these things is freely available for everyone to access, right? Nobody realizes that it is available, and that's what we are trying to encourage, that everyone to leverage, because it is available. Previously, it was very hard to find where is the data. Do I have enough license to access it? So that is the barrier that we are trying to break.
That is super cool, Parth, and it's pretty amazing how accessible this data is, and I think it's really interesting that AWS is trying to make it even more accessible so that people can do a lot of interesting data science work, and help solve some of the big problems that we as a society need to start working on, right?
Absolutely right. And there are so many problems, because when I start working on here, I see that so many people is coming up with, oh, I have this idea, do we have this data? And then we realize that everybody facing the same problem. 80% of time is just trying to identify where is the right data, and that is not even started and start getting the impact. So that is what we are trying to overcome for the community and give it away.
And it might even be a cool data set for people who are trying to branch into doing more BI analytics to be able to play around
Mhm.
with, right? Because it's a lot
Yeah,
of rich data.
yeah, and we have all different types. This is a sample for images, but we have the weather data that is updating every 15 minutes, getting the weather reports from different locations. And that's a tabular data that you can directly leverage with any of existing AWS service or your favorite tool to get this report and see that where is the trend going, and then how it is working. So I mean, possibility is endless when as soon as you have a data to access.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going to the next section of this demo. So over here you can see that all this green is where there were trees before, and all this on the right hand side, it is 1 year later after the fire. You can see that you will not see enough the greenery because of this vegetation index has been dropped. What I use over here is I use another library called Earthpath that will help me classify the different geography. So what I did was I categorize dense forest, open forest, dead forest over here, and this will show you that um, previously it was very dense forest, but now you see so many spots with the dead forest,
Yeah.
and it is just due to the fire and all this climate problem that we are facing.
Yeah. That's kind of painful to look at sometimes.
Oh yeah. But we are hoping that once this data is available for everyone, everybody can try out and find out that how we can help our planet.
That's awesome. Really, really cool. So other than the existing data that's in there right now, can other users or organizations share their data?
Oh yeah, so that is a good part, right? So we already work with different agency to get this data, but if you have a data, if you are owning the data, we can host it for free. You will not get any egress charges, as long as you need to make sure that the data is owned by you, and there are some making sure that you are going to maintain this data and metadata is available. We can host it. And anyone who has data specifically for help a community to research climate, um, definitely reach out to us. We will help you to share this data.
Cool.
This is interesting. So, pretty much, so there's a support channel where people log in and they ask for support to be able to share data.
Yeah, we do have a email address that I will share. And what we are trying right now is all these samples that is available, all this data set we available, more than 300 plus. We are trying to create a sample for each of them so that it will be easy for everyone to get started. And we will have a separate a GitHub channel where anybody can ask question and frequent frequently available in this show to help anybody who wants to reach out.
Yeah, I think from our audience point, it'll be interesting to see also the different categories of data that is available within this section. You mentioned there are like some 13 and 15 different categories,
Mhm.
and environment is one of them, like weather and all. So
Yeah,
maybe it'll give
yeah,
an idea to what they can share or can they
yeah,
can
yeah.
find.
Yeah, so it all this data is available in our link, which is AmazonSDI.com. If you go there, you will see that which type of data is available. There is a link directly going to this different data set. It will also list down all these buckets there so that you can start using it. We are also trying to keep up with generating more and more samples so that it will be easy for anyone to get started.
Yeah, and Parth, when we were talking about this the other day, I'm sorry, Seema, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
When we were talking about this the other day, you were talking about a hackathon that you had going on and some pretty cool information going on there. Can you share some more info on that?
Oh, yeah. So at Remars last week, we announced a giant hackathon partnering with UNESCO. What we are trying to do is we are encouraging people to participate in it. It's a $100,000 winning prize. So if you are a builder out there, if you want to enhance your skills, enhance your resume, make some money, and save the planet, yeah, just go ahead and apply for this hackathon.
And some prize money to win as well, right? That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, Parth, we've just got a couple more minutes. I want to make sure that you get everything in that you want people to know about ASDI. Is there anything else you want to?
Yeah, sure. So ASDI has this open data set. What we are trying to do is we are integrating this open data set with Amazon Data Exchange, ADX. We are integrating all this open data as part of the paid and subscription data. So there are organizations who is providing all this data available for a separate resolution, or a specific data that is being leveraged by certain organization. So we are embedding this so that everything is available at one place, and it will be very easy for people to categorize and find out. So we are also in process of integrating the open data as well as the paid data.
Parth, it's super interesting. I really appreciate you coming on the show to share this information. I mean, I think it's incredible that that you all have put the work into to pull all this data into one place so people can access it easily, and coming up with some creative ways to encourage people to dig in and start working on the data to help solve some big problems. So we really appreciate you being here.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much.